You have to like get rid of the mindset of like Ibiza party town.
Right. Like even if you don't party and you're not going in for the nightlife, Ibiza is worth visiting for the history, the culture, the beaches.
Yeah, no matter what type of travel you are, it's a worthy place to spend your time and money.
You're listening to Queer Travel Chat by Two Bad Tourists.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Queer Travel Chat. I'm Austin. This is David, the other half of Two Bad Tourists. And these are also his new glasses, which we mentioned on the last episode.
I have another pair, but I'm not ready to show them off yet.
So we're excited to talk about today's episode. We're excited to do the episode, which is
I'm excited to
Ibiza and Formentera. Why are we talking about Ibiza and Formentera?
It's actually pronounced Ibiza. If you're British. Yes. We're talking about it because we love it. We were just there. We were there in October with my sister who follows us all over the world and won't leave us alone, even to Madrid.
We did kind of an end of season trip to Ibiza where the beginning of October is great because the weather's still really nice, but it's kind of like not super busy and it's not too hot. And it's still a great
And a big part of that trip too was doing a day trip to Formentera because all of our Spanish friends have always told us that it's so worth checking out, and we've never taken the time
to. It took us 12 years to take their advice.
Yeah, and we've been to Ibiza many times, and it's a wonderful place to visit. It doesn't have to be the party scene that we all know it to be. It can also be a chill place to also relax, but also to like learn about Spanish history. Ibizan history, is that how you is that the adjective? Yeah. Because it's a walled city, or there's a walled town on the island, so there's a lot to do and see there. It's easily one of the most queer-friendly destinations in Europe, and our queer community has played a big role in shaping its environment and community since the 1960s. So certain cities around Spain were really big for the queer scene, like those Barcelona, Ibiza, probably Madrid.
Yeah.
And then Torremolinos would be the other, since the 60s were like the big gay hotspots where, people could find safety in each other. So we're going to dive into the history of the queer scene, nightlife, beaches, and give you some tips for your own trip.
Yeah, and if by coincidence you want to visit Ibiza with us, we're hosting a gay group cruise on Virgin Voyages to Spain, France, and Italy from June 22nd to 29th, 2026. And one of the stops is Ibiza. It's actually an overnight stop.
And we are not on that particular one. That will be hosted by Richard, who is our very experienced, very handsome, very friendly, very charming gay group leader who lives just outside of Barcelona and Sitges. So you'll have a wonderful time with him. As always, let's get into some fun facts about the Balearic Islands, which are the islands of Spain.
I had a hard time saying that.
It doesn't roll off the tongue. Balearic.
Balearic.
That's not what I would have named it.
Las Islas Baleares. It's a lot easier.
Baleares is easier. Two of them being Ibiza and Formentera. So there are 4 main Balearic islands. It sounds like a disease. I have
Balearic stones in my kidney.
Balearic parasite.
Balearic parasite.
Anyway, Mallorca, Menorca, Ibiza, and Formentera are the main ones, but there's a little over 150 islands and islets. Oh, these are all mine. Ibiza was founded by the Phoenicians more than 2,600 years ago, who gave it the name Eboshim after the god Bes. Formentera is the smallest Balearic island and is famous for its crystal clear waters.
And you forgot to mention, followed by the British, who then called it Ibiza.
Sorry, Brits, that always rings funny in my ear. And the local languages are, of course, Spanish, because we're in Spain, but there are many regional languages in Spain, and on the east coast of Spain, Catalan is spoken, and there are many dialects of Catalan. This one would be Ibicenco, if I'm saying it correctly. And as it's such a wildly popular international and European destination, you can get by with English very easily.
Ibicenco. We want you to all try saying that.
Did I say
Balearic Islands where they speak Ibicenco?
You don't need to speak Ibicenco, which is a dialect of Catalan, but then they would probably be very sensitive about you calling it Catalan because they're very sensitive.
Because it's Ibicenco. Right. So you've probably heard a lot about Ibiza and their, popular or infamous nightlife. Obviously, it has nightlife, has some of the biggest mega clubs in the world, which are awesome.
Well, you will spend the most money you've ever spent in your life for a cocktail.
Yes. God, or a water 15 euros.
Oh my God.
But Ibiza is not just about nightlife. It actually has a little bit of everything. It has a UNESCO World Heritage Old Town, which is called Dalt Villa, and it's beautiful ancient city walls, tiny cobblestone streets, and unbeatable sunset views. It's up on the hill when you pull into the port into the harbor, and it's breathtaking.
It's
one
worth
of the best
seeing
parts.
as a walled town and city like you would go anywhere else around Europe to see like these historical towns. So you have to like get rid of the mindset of like Ibiza party town.
Right. Like even if you don't party and you're not going in for the nightlife, Ibiza is worth visiting for the history, the culture, the beaches. And everything
Yeah, no
it's all
matter
about.
what type of travel you are, it's a worthy place to spend your time and money checking out. You should definitely add it to your itinerary. I think it always sounds funny when because I remember we were planning our trip to Ibiza and like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm going to Ibiza. And there's always a reaction of like, oh, I'm gonna go crazy.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah.
no, I'm literally gonna lay on the beach
Right.
and then I'm gonna walk the historical town and go pop into a museum. Like, it's not. I mean, you can do that, do the party, but we were going in October, so
Right.
it's hard to avoid that reaction.
Right. So, well, before we jump into the topics, just remember you can visit Ibiza with us on our cruise next June.
Yes, we are hoping we are hoping to host. We are definitely hosting a queer group trip with Virgin Voyages from June 21st to 28th, as Austin said, sailing to Spain, France, and Italy, with Ibiza being one of the overnight stops. Again, it'll be Richard, our travel writer slash trip leader.
Yeah.
Will be.
And I just realized we may have actually said 22nd through 29th, and we just said 21 through 28th.
Oh shoot!
It's right around that. It's one of those 2 dates.
Well, I can just get it right
Yeah.
real quick. When are we going? It's here. twobedtourist.com. We are going June 21st to 28th.
So the reason David said it wrong the first time is because
you
I told him
me,
incorrectly.
yes.
22nd through 29th was actually last
Whatever,
year.
it's June. Come join us.
But like I said, it's an overnight stop, so you get the best of both worlds. You can do like beach time during the day or explore the old city during the day, and then obviously the nightlife after dark. And we actually do a gay pub crawl. Richard hosts a gay pub crawl on that tour in Ibiza.
Yeah, he's already, it'll be his third or fourth time doing it,
Mm.
so he knows what he's doing. Before we continue, this episode is brought to you by Whimstay, the best platform for last-minute vacation rental deals.
Whimstay launched in 2020, and it's already helped travelers book more than 2 million nights while saving millions of dollars. So they work with professional property managers, embedded hosts, and the deals are seriously real, sometimes hundreds off what you would normally see in Airbnb or Vrbo.
And the best part, they show you the price difference right there on the page. No more opening multiple tabs and comparing.
Yeah, in fact, we're actually using Whimstay for our upcoming trip to Las Vegas in December, and we saved a ton with that. So it's no coincidence they're the sponsor of this episode.
So if you're planning a spontaneous getaway, including Ibiza, check Whimstay first. The savings are big. Now, let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. Ibiza.
Okay, you're on.
So, of course, as I was talking about, Ibiza has this reputation of being like the party capital of the world, right?
Which it is.
It is. But the story goes more than that. It goes beyond the clubs. The island has a long history talking about many generations ago. The Phoenicians, Romans, Arabs, Catalans, they all left their mark. But in the 60s and 70s, this is when Ibiza became a refuge for hippies, artists, and free spirits. And this, of course, kind of starts the LGBT welcomingness of the destination. So that's kind of where it all sort of started.
Yeah, and that open-minded atmosphere laid the foundation for Ibiza becoming a major queer destination. Queer travelers are a huge part of the island's cultural boom, being popular internationally since the 1980s. DJs from around the world were flocking to Ibiza, and then super clubs like Pacha, Amnesia helped create the modern dance scene that it has today.
And of course, outside the nightlife, Ibiza honestly is gorgeous. It's one of my favorite places to visit in Spain for vacation. They have dramatic cliffs, the coves, where the beaches kind of hit the coast. The turquoise waters are just stunning. White sand beaches, whitewashed towns. And they actually have these salt flats, which are called, they're called Ses Salinas, I guess is how you pronounce it. But, they used to manufacture salt. It used to be one of their exports. So you can kind of see that. And if you're driving around Ibiza, you'll see those. And then, of course, the fortified old town, which is called Dalt Villa, which is the historical town, which you can't miss in Ibiza. It's incredible. It's gorgeous.
Do they still have salt mines there?
I mean, do they actually use them? Do they produce salt? If they do, they probably do, but it's probably a kind of a, what do you call it when products are not mass produced, but they just do it because they used to do it? like boutique, kind of like a boutique product,
it's like gourmet.
yeah, like
Good.
boutique. They probably do, and you can probably buy salt from Ibiza for like $12 for a
It's
jar.
an Eastern Spain thing, like on the mainland now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have it in Valencia in my head for some reason.
I bet you they do, but they don't like mass produce it like they used to.
And we can't
That
forget.
I know of.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know what we're talking about. And we can't forget Formentera. It's only 40 minutes away by ferry, but it feels totally different. It doesn't have the clubs. It's not noisy streets with all the filled with bars. But lots of bike paths, clear water, beautiful beaches.
Great for nature, outdoor
A
activities.
place to detox, disconnect after if you're partying.
Yeah, and
Ibiza.
it's kind of like off the beaten path because you can only get there from ferry, right? Like people don't fly into Formentera. You have to take the 30-minute ferry from Ibiza. So that kind of like, filters out a lot of people from going there. So
Or you can drive there.
Well, you can actually drive onto a ferry.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So it wasn't being dumb.
Well, no, you were being dumb. You just happened to say the truth.
You just saved the day again. Let's get a little bit more into the queer scene. So Ibiza is one of the, as we already mentioned, very queer friendly places in Europe, especially Ibiza town. That's where you would want to go out in if you're going out for the gay scene.
Yeah, and the heart of the gay nightlife in Ibiza is called Calle de la Virgen, so the Virgin Street, and it's a narrow street packed with tiny bars and patios and shops. It's really, really lively every night during the summer. And some of the highlights that you'll check out, the iconic gay bars, there's one called Bar Angelo, Mona Lisa, Sunrise, or Dado. So a lot of these, have these little terrace seating areas right there on the street, and it's just like a really cool atmosphere.
Yeah, you can just kind of bar hop there. When we do the pub crawl, I think Richard takes them to a place with like one place first and then Calle de la Virgen, right?
Yeah, like it's a big rooftop terrace
Yeah.
that has kind of views and with like more space, but then he dives into like the
Then you
really
finish
old
off
town
in like
behind
the
it.
gay scene there. And of course Ibiza is known for the big parties, but mostly it's going to be more gay friendly, queer friendly, and not dedicated to the
Yeah.
gay community entirely. But that's, I mean, it's Ibiza and it's young people and it's
Yeah, I mean,
tons of gays.
I think in past years they would maybe have more gay nights at the big nightclubs, but they don't do that as much. But you might find like a few scattered throughout the summer, so you kind of just have to search.
Do they still have a sauna?
They do not.
They
The
used
gay
to,
sauna.
didn't
They used to have a gay nightclub in the old town, which maybe
I
had a
remember they
dark
had
current.
okay, maybe that's
Yeah,
okay.
that might be
I remember
what you're thinking.
well, the big clubs are Matinee, La Troya, Hishide, and Supermarché.
So every June, Ibiza, like many cities in the summer, hosts a gay pride. So it's Ibiza Gay Pride. Of course, it's not huge because that's not why people go to Ibiza. But it is still very fun, and it has like very Ibiza vibe. Vibes. They set up a stage, right there at the port where you can listen to music. We've actually been there.
Who did we meet? Did we meet Mr. Gay Pride? Someone? We have photos with some really hot Spanish guy who was like
Yeah,
Mr.
That sounds familiar.
He was either Mr. Spain or Mr. like Ibiza Gay Pride. We have pictures with him in Dalt Villa.
All right, well,
Do you
we're gonna have to
remember
go
that?
back and look at those photos.
Do you not remember what I'm talking about?
I'll remember it once I find out.
He was cute. He was
I
definitely worth
believe it.
taking photos with. And of course, you got to go to the beach. There is a dedicated gay beach called S5E4. It's clothing optional. It's where Cheating Gay is. So Chiringuito is a beach bar all around Spain. And so, of course, they're doing play on words with Cheating Gay. So they've got what I would recommend to drink there is cava sangria. Fantastic. Cava's like,
I love Cava Sangria and Ibiza. It's like one
yeah,
of my favorite
Catalonia, but so I love cava sangria as well. Delicious. The dunes there are where the cruising area is if you want to go meet people in their birthday suit.
things.
Getting there is
A hassle. Like many gay beaches is a pain in the ass, but you go because the end product is
you
worth
gotta
it.
take a taxi. I think there is now Uber, right?
There is Uber in
There
Ibiza
wasn't
now.
before. Now there's Uber or take a taxi. The hard part is you got to get back. So you got to make sure you have like a taxi number because I don't think you can rely on Uber necessarily to come pick you up there. So you want the number to a taxi just in case. Sometimes you can grab a taxi when people are getting dropped off.
Yeah, and David says this because the beach is not really near any cities or towns. It's just kind of in the middle of nowhere. And of course, when you get to the parking lot where they drop you off, that's kind of the generic beach, the main straight beach, and then you have to walk another 15 minutes to get to the gay portion. But it's stunning. The sands are like white, the waters are turquoise, and the views are incredible.
And the Cheating Gay, the beach bar there is seasonal. So I think they close sometime mid-October.
Yeah.
If you were going to go on our cruise, it'll be open in June for
Mhm.
sure. So it does the summer season, the high season.
Yeah, so like we were talking about, Formentera is a smaller island with it's not as big, not as popular, so it doesn't really have an LGBT bar scene. But it's Ibiza, it's Spain. It's obviously very accepting, but it's quiet and it's full of a lot of naturist friendly beaches, so you can bathe nude, to bathe in your birthday suit, get your butt cheeks tanned. So, our second sponsor of the episode is Greater Miami and Miami Beach. So, thank you for sponsoring this episode. And we actually want to highlight Rainbow Spring, which is happening starting in March through June 2026.
Oh, it's almost like that's the spring months.
Yes.
It's Miami's biggest LGBTQ friendly season with events like the Winter Party Festival, Miami Beach Pride, Out Sunshine Film Festival, and Sweet Heat, which focus on LGBTQ women. Sweet Heat.
Yeah, so if you want to go check out really cool, fun LGBTQ plus and queer festivals, music, parties, things like that, you can go during that season, and you can of course find LGBTQ plus welcoming hotels and everything that you need at visitmiamilgbtq.com.
And we'll even be in Miami this January for another Virgin Voyages cruise when we're doing it's the Mexican Riviera.
Yes.
So we won't get to be there for Rainbow Spring, but we'll get to be in the
Yes,
in
but
the
it's a
city.
beautiful
Enjoy it.
time to check out Miami, so definitely go during that season for lots of great events.
All right, so let's get into a little bit more concrete tips and recommendations for your trip to Ibiza and Formentera. Let's start off with timing. So a good time to visit. Quiet season is going to be November to March. So that's a good time if you're not there for the party season. It'll be cheaper. It'll be relaxed.
Or you don't want the beaches.
Oh yeah, if you're
You
not
just
a
want
beach
culture.
person.
You just want culture. And
I went with our good friend Stevie in November when she first moved here to Spain, and it was a great time to go. We had a good time.
Yeah.
We actually did do a picnic on the beach, but with like jackets and a
Yeah.
beach blanket. Obviously not going in the water. If you do want the partying club scene, then from late April to October is the best time for that. The peak months are going to be July and August, so expect a lot of people, and it's going to be very expensive. And if you want kind of a mix between those two things, then June and September, you'll still get a bit of nightlife with some good weather and not as busy as July and August.
So now talking about transportation tips. So you can actually rent a car or a scooter, which is maybe even a little bit more comfortable, and it'll give you total freedom to go all around the island, which is great. We did that once. However, the only part is you can't get drunk and drive. So that's kind of
Well,
the
you
trick.
can,
Well, you can, but you
you
shouldn't.
shouldn't.
We would definitely recommend that.
Wait, we've never done that, have we?
Yeah, when we went for the first time, we actually had a rental car, so we were
Oh, I
always
was
like
thinking a
taking
scooter. I
turns.
was like,
Yeah. No, not a scooter. Taxis are very reliable, and actually Ubers now operate in Ibiza. I think they're actually just taxis that work through the app, but still you can hail a ride with Uber. However, when we were there in October, when it's peak season, sometimes like it'll take 20 minutes for an Uber to come, or it's really hard to hail a taxi.
Oh, yeah.
So, depending on the season, it can be a little more difficult in where you're at.
Yeah, you need to plan ahead.
Plan
With
ahead.
with your if there's somewhere you absolutely like a dinner that's far or a party you want to get to, you got to get that.
Yeah, so we were asking our hotel concierge, and he was basically saying, "Well, I can't really call you a taxi now because they won't come." So talk to your hotel concierge or someone who has tips, specific to your region. But of course, there is public transport. They're all, there's not like any, train or rail because it's a small island, but you can take buses. You can get a bus from the airport, which is line 10 to Ibiza Old Town, or from the airport to San Antonio, which is the other side of the island, which is line 9. And in fact, there are buses that go all over the island. And there's even like a bus that takes you to the different big, mega clubs, which are kind of in the middle. So you can definitely check out public transport. But obviously the easiest is going to be staying in a town center of where you want to be, walk around, or take a taxi or an Uber.
The two main areas to stay are going to be Ibiza town, which is going to be good for like the historical area, nightlife. That's where Calle de la Virgen, the gay street, is with all the gay bars. On the other side of the island is San Antonio, which also has good restaurants. A little bit quieter than Ibiza town, a little bit cheaper, but really good sunsets. I would say it's the second second most common place to stay.
Yeah, and the AXA Hotel, which is the gay hotel chain, has their property actually in San Antonio
Is
Bay.
it new?
Not
Axel Ibiza?
No, it's been around since 2017 or 18. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been around. So it's actually not in Ibiza town. It's on the other side.
But we
We've
just
stayed
stayed
at.
there, and it was a perfect
I mean, the
place to
views
stay.
from the hotel. It's a beachfront hotel, and the views are of the bay are
We did
gorgeous.
pool days,
Yeah.
multiple days,
Yep.
which was fantastic. I'm not gonna get into the
Well, I will say, other than the AXA Hotel, there is another gay hotel in Ibiza called the Purple, which is also in San Antonio. So we've actually been there. It's a cute little property, a little bit smaller, and it's right in the San Antonio Old Town.
sure.
And then lots of other great
I'll
places to
pretend I
stay.
remember that. That sounds good.
So talking about sightseeing activities. So assuming you're not going to be partying all night long and sleeping through your hangover.
Or that you'll have some days
Yeah, maybe.
that are not party days.
So I've mentioned it a few times. Dalt Villa, which is the UNESCO Old Town, which has hilltop views. There's just tons of history and things to see in there. There's the Medina Ibiza Museum, which is Ibiza's history all in one spot. And then, so for some maybe like more nature, activities, check out, do like a boat tour or do some like sea cave exploration or snorkeling tours, which is great. And then there's the Sant Jordi Market, which is a place to check out, antiques and like music, and different fare
I
like
think
that.
that's a place right outside Dalt Villa, that market there.
That could be.
I think that's the one. Do you remember that market?
I do. Yeah. Google it.
You're just reading my outline.
Yeah.
There's wonderful restaurants to try in Ibiza. The Chiringue we already mentioned is the gay one. There's El Carmen for good paella, or also San Nansa. For some tapas, you could try out El Zaguan. You can check out our gay guide for Ibiza on twobadtours.com to
Yep.
get the list of restaurants and hotels that we recommend.
Yeah, so obviously we talk a little bit about food. Ibiza has some local amazing dishes that you should check out, from like fish stews to paellas, even like a local cheesecake.
Yeah, called Flau. Is that how you pronounce that? Flau. Flao with an apostrophe.
I don't know.
But yeah, it does have its own specialties. Sobrasada, I always think of more as a Mallorcan dish. It's a spreadable sausage, but it's from the Balearic Islands overall. Also have sobrasada if you want to try typical things we already mentioned. Definitely get some cava sangria.
Mhm.
For more typical thing for specific to Ibiza would be hierbas ibicencas, which is like an Ibiza herbal liqueur,
It's like something you would drink
Digest.
right after, digest it.
which is common to
After
have
dinner.
right after
Mhm.
your
Dinner
big
or-
heavy lunch or dinner. Yeah. Another pro tip is that in Ibiza town, promoters hand out discount wristbands for the club, so you'll see drag queens, dancers, and hot shirtless guys giving them out. So make sure to grab one; it can save you some money at the door.
Yeah. So we're gonna switch to Formentera. We didn't talk a lot about Formentera, but we did kind of sprinkle it out, sprinkle it in between the episode. But again, Formentera is like a 30-minute ferry ride from Ibiza, from like the Ibiza main old town. And it's a really lovely ride to do because it's like
Yeah.
the island's very like mountainous, so the views are really, really pretty. The ferries typically
And
run.
they serve beer.
Yeah, we bought beers on the boat. Yes.
So you can enjoy views, get your photos, and enjoy a beer.
Yeah, and during high season, which most people go during high season, they run every 30 minutes, so you can kind of just show up and buy a ticket. The ride is about 30 to 40 minutes depending. It is a little pricey though. It might run you about 40 or 50 euros, round trip, but it's just a gorgeous island. So if
Well
you're gonna
worth
do it,
all the way
do it,
there.
get there, take a ferry in the morning, spend all day, have lunch, rent some bikes. That's what we did on our last trip. We probably got there a little later than we should have. We didn't get there till about 1, but we took our time and we just rented bikes. And so we got around all the island by bike. We
Yeah.
went to like 2 or 3 different beaches, and
Well, there was
from
one
the main.
beach we saw that like is just a sandbar, so it's beach on both sides.
Yeah, I don't remember the
It's
name of the
beautiful.
beach, but actually, I think that's it. It's the Ses Islets, which I think is like 6 islets or something. How you would
And
translate it in,
Ibiza.
no, in
Oh
English.
no, and
I think
Form-
that's the name. I think that's the name of the beach. So it's,
says
gorgeous,
Islets.
gorgeous white sand beach where you're like, to the left is beach and to the right is beach, and you just like keep walking out. Google it. You'll see some like very, very stunning views.
It's yeah, a wonderful day trip. It's very
Yeah.
relaxing. Have lunch on the beach as well. It's
And if you want to see like maybe a little bit more, or you're just like a little bit lazy, you can rent like electric bikes or even scooters. If you know, obviously a scooter
we did
can
the
take
real
you all
bikes.
around
We
the
burned
island.
those calories,
Yes,
and
we
then we
did.
ate and drank them.
Yep.
So
So
worth
that's
it.
it. Formentera. If you have, if you only have a couple days in Ibiza, it's probably not, worth it. Stay in Ibiza. But if you're there for extended time, 3, 4 nights, like
Well, let's
I think it's worth
what would you
doing.
suggest? Like, I would say, you could easily, like, if to tack onto your Spain trip, you could do like 2, maybe like do 3 nights in Ibiza, and with a day trip in Formentera,
That's
at
what
least.
we just did 3 nights, and we did a day trip.
But it was perfect.
Yeah.
Because you get, you're not rushed.
Yep.
You can take it easy. You can see the main sites over the 2 days. You could have one big party night.
Yep.
You get to do a day trip, and by that time you'll feel like you've done everything. So minimum, I would do 3 nights.
I agree.
If not longer, if you like a long, relaxing beach vacation. So, well, you figured out by now that Ibiza is a wonderful queer destination. So whether you're into the nightlife, beaches, more into the culture, food, whatever, it's definitely a place worth visiting.
We have come to the end of our episode, David.
These episodes are flying by.
I
It's
know.
it's just like chatting with a friend.
Yes, it is. So, guys, if you enjoyed this show, please subscribe to it on your favorite platform where you get your podcast, and give the episode a like or review. We really appreciate 5-star reviews. In fact, we don't appreciate anything else besides that.
Don't waste your time with those 4-star reviews.
Of course, we're always at Too Bad Tourists on social media, so give us a follow on your favorite platform there if you don't follow us already.
And stay tuned for our next episode on. We're going to tell you soon. We're figuring it out. The holidays are coming up, so
Yeah, so we actually have a few topics that are slated. We just haven't figured out which one's going to come first.
we need to hire a producer.
But what I know for sure is it's going to be episode 6.
Okay.
So
Stay tuned.
tuned for
It's going to be an
episode 6.
exciting episode.
Wait, is it?
On
Or is it
Sunday.
actually going to be episode 5?
It's going to be episode 5, I think.
Oh, whoops.
You don't even know.
I don't even know.
But we're recording on a Friday, and I think it's 1 o'clock. So
Lovely. Well, guys, until next time.